Justin Baldoni never saw it coming. One moment he was Hollywood's golden boy, set to direct the film adaptation of It Ends With Us. The next he was at the center of a storm, accusations, betrayals, and a game of power he never signed up for. It all started in 2019 when Justin, deeply moved by the novel's raw emotions, reached out to Colleen Hoover. She was thrilled by his passion and even suggested he play Ryle. Everything seemed perfect. Then came Blake Lively. Colleen pushed for her as the lead, and Justin eagerly agreed. That's when the cracks started to form. Behind the scenes, alliances shifted, and whispers of a setup began circulating. And then, the cryptic mention of Kelsey and her dragons, a name some claim ties back to Hollywood's biggest power players, possibly even Taylor Swift. Was Justin walking into a trap? What started as a dream project quickly turned into a nightmare, and by the time Justin realized what was happening, it was already too late. Betrayal takes center stage. As production gears ramped up, Justin found himself juggling a delicate balancing act. The pressure was immense. He wasn't just directing a film, he was navigating the often conflicting visions of key players. Colleen had strong opinions on nearly every aspect, from the script's tone to character development, while Blake Lively, stepping into her role with confidence, had her own creative ideas. Justin, ever the diplomat, worked tirelessly to find a middle ground that would satisfy both of them while staying true to the essence of the novel. By all indications, this collaboration should have been productive, even groundbreaking. The team had a best-selling book as their foundation, a talented cast, and a director committed to bringing the story to life. Yet, just as everything seemed to be falling into place, a shocking shift occurred, one that blindsided not just Justin, but also many closely following the film's progress. Colleen, who had once been one of Justin's most vocal supporters, suddenly began siding with Blake on nearly every production-related dispute. It wasn't just minor disagreements, she had done a complete 180-degree turn. No one saw it coming. One moment, Colleen and Justin were exchanging enthusiastic texts about the upcoming shoot, discussing fine details with excitement. The next, she was lavishing public praise on Blake, an actress who, by several accounts, hadn't even taken the time to read the entire novel before accepting the role. Fans were left wondering, what had caused this drastic change of heart? Had Blake's star power swayed Colleen? Was there pressure from the studio? Or had something deeper been brewing behind the scenes? The whispers intensified when reports surfaced that Blake had expressed concerns over certain production choices. Words like uncomfortable and unprofessional began circulating in connection with the film, though no specifics were given. These vague accusations sent shockwaves through the fanbase. Had something truly problematic occurred, or was this simply a power play? No concrete evidence was presented, yet Colleen seemed to take Blake's concerns at face value, treating them as undeniable truths. Her reaction was swift and baffling. Rather than addressing the concerns directly or defending Justin, a man she had spent years collaborating with, Colleen disappeared from social media. This was unusual for someone so engaged with her audience. Instead of clearing the air, she left Justin alone to handle the growing storm of negative speculation. The internet, as it often does, turned against him quickly. Without Colleen's public support, many assumed that where there was smoke, there must be fire. Then came the moment that made it all undeniable. A real-world, physical manifestation of the divide. At an exclusive industry event where cast and crew gathered to celebrate the film, Justin and his family were not just ignored but quite literally relegated to the basement while the biggest names mingled upstairs. It was more than just a social oversight, it was a calculated message. Being placed in a lesser space was a deliberate snub, an unmistakable sign that he was no longer welcome in the inner circle. The betrayal was now painfully clear. How could Colleen, the writer who had once been so close to Justin, the person who had entrusted him with her story, now treat him like an outsider? Theories swirled. Had studio politics played a role? Was this about aligning with power? Or had personal grievances built up behind the scenes, unknown to the public? No one could say for sure, but one thing was certain. Colleen's allegiance had shifted dramatically, and Justin was left to pick up the pieces. If you thought this was the peak of the drama, think again. What followed was a series of revelations that only deepened the controversy surrounding Colleen. From bizarre decisions regarding spin-offs of her book to unsettling rumors about her family, each new development added another layer of complexity to an already murky situation. The once adored author, who had built her career on authenticity and connection with fans, now found herself at the center of suspicion. Fans who had once idolized her were now questioning everything. Had she always been this calculating? Was her loyalty to Justin ever real, or had it been a strategic move from the start? And perhaps most importantly, what would happen next? With tensions running high and public perception shifting rapidly, the fallout from this behind-the-scenes betrayal was far from over. Timing is everything in showbiz, and for Colleen Hoover, 2022 was shaping up to be a banner year. Her novel skyrocketed on TikTok, and It Ends With Us was well on its way to becoming the next big film adaptation. So naturally, she decided to drop merchandise, a coloring book based on the traumatic storyline of It Ends With Us. Wait, what? Fans were baffled. The novel tackles heavy issues, intimate partner violence, heartbreak, generational scars, and turning that into a coloring book felt bizarre at best and exploitative at worst. Swift backlash poured in, forcing Colleen to yank the coloring book from shelves with a hasty apology. But while that fiasco blew up on social media, an even darker rumor circulated about Colleen's personal life. Allegations involving her son and a 16-year-old girl. Reports claimed her son had pursued a teen he met on Snapchat, knowingly crossing boundaries. When the alleged victim reached out to Colleen for support, Hoover supposedly blocked her. This is the same author who built her brand on heartfelt stories of women overcoming abuse and trauma, yet she apparently went radio silent when it hit too close to home. Was it hypocrisy, ignorance, or a reflex to protect family at any cost? Colleen eventually defended her son, insisting the girl was twisting facts. She said she'd taken accountability by offering contact info for her lawyer and apologizing privately to the teen. But from the outside, the optics were damning. The public saw a best-selling author who writes passionately about survivors, apparently turning away a real-life victim to shield her own family's image. It was a double standard that stuck like glue to Colleen's reputation. Yet even as these controversies stacked up, Hoover's focus returned to one big objective: controlling the future of her novel's adaptation. That's where the mysterious morality clause and Blake Lively's potential hidden agenda come racing to the forefront. Hidden within the contract that granted Justin Baldoni the adaptation rights for It Ends With Us was a clause many in Hollywood fear, but rarely see enforced: a morality clause. In simple terms, it dictated that if Justin ever found himself embroiled in credible allegations of misconduct, especially those related to harassment or assault, he would lose the rights instantly. The ownership would revert back to the book's author, Colleen Hoover, without negotiation or compensation. While morality clauses are not uncommon in high-stakes entertainment contracts, they typically serve as a safeguard rather than an active weapon. Yet in this case, it seemed almost tailor-made for a scenario where Justin's involvement could be forcefully severed. Then, like a script playing out in real time, controversy exploded. Blake Lively, the Hollywood star attached to the project, came forward with startling allegations of harassment against Justin. The story spread like wildfire, making headlines in the New York Times and other major media outlets. Justin, once a respected figure in the industry, found himself at the center of a storm that few actors, directors, or producers survive. Within days, the walls started closing in. Hollywood power broker Ari Emanuel's agency swiftly dropped him. Major networks and studios, fearing reputational damage, began putting distance between themselves and Justin. Social media erupted into debates, with speculation running rampant. But one detail caught the attention of many: the morality clause. Was this a coincidence, or had Blake, perhaps even in coordination with Colleen, found the perfect legal loophole to push Justin out of the equation? As the media frenzy escalated, Justin fought back. He came armed with receipts, emails, text messages, production footage, all of which directly contradicted Blake's allegations. He presented a case that, under normal circumstances, would have at least slowed the tide against him. But the problem with public perception is that once the words harassment allegations are attached to a person's name, they're nearly impossible to shake off. Justin might have had proof, but the court of public opinion had already begun to rule against him. And that's where things took an even more intriguing turn. If Justin were deemed unfit to continue leading the project, that morality clause could be invoked. The result? The rights would return to Colleen Hoover, who would then have full control over the project's future. That meant she could choose a new creative partner, someone she trusted, someone powerful. And who better than her new best friend, Blake Lively? This raised an unsettling question. Was this part of a calculated move? A strategic takedown designed not only to remove Justin from the equation, but to secure the project for Blake and Colleen's preferred team? If so, it was a masterstroke in Hollywood legal maneuvering. After all, the industry thrives on strategy, connections, and, above all, power plays. Whispers began circulating about secret negotiations, undisclosed agreements, and behind-the-scenes legal muscle working overtime. Some even speculated that a brand new production company was already positioned to take over the adaptation the moment Justin was officially out. If true, that would mean that every move, from the initial allegations to the media blitz, wasn't just a scandal but a carefully orchestrated coup. For now, Justin remains in limbo. The legal battle looms, the public remains divided, and the fate of it ends with us hangs in the balance. But one thing is clear, this was never just about a movie. It was about control, influence, and the dangerous game of Hollywood politics. Hush hush DALS and ART Bones Entertainment. Just when the scandal surrounding Justin Baldoni was at its peak, Colleen Hoover made a surprising move. She launched Heart Bones Entertainment, a production company focused on adapting her books into films. This raised many questions. If she already had a deal with Justin, why would she need a separate company? The timing made it seem like more than just a business decision. Around the same time, Colleen also hired one of Hollywood's most powerful law firms, known for representing A-list celebrities. This wasn't just about expanding her team. It looked like she was preparing for something big, possibly even a legal battle. Rumors started spreading quickly. Many believed Colleen was quietly making moves to take back the movie rights from Justin's Wayfarer Studios. If she could reclaim them, whether through the morality clause in their contract or some other legal method, she would be free to handle the film on her own terms. And with Blake Lively now closely involved, it made sense that she'd want full control. Blake's star power alone could take the project to another level, attracting bigger names, larger budgets, and worldwide attention. Plus, with her husband Ryan Reynolds, a marketing genius, on board, the movie could be a guaranteed blockbuster. If that happened, Justin would be completely pushed out of the picture. Things got even more suspicious when alleged film crew insiders started sharing behind-the-scenes details on Reddit. According to them, trouble had been brewing long before the public even knew about the scandal. They claimed Blake had been using her influence to shape the film's direction to better suit her vision, and Colleen was quietly backing her. Some even suggested that Justin had sensed this shift happening but had no way to stop it. As long as he still had the rights, he was part of the project. But if a scandal took him down, the morality clause would give Colleen the perfect excuse to cut him out for good. The more people connected the dots, the more it seemed like a carefully planned strategy. But even the most well-planned moves don't always go smoothly. As new evidence surfaced, Justin fought back with messages, emails, and production footage that didn't match Blake's version of events. Slowly, public opinion started shifting. People who had originally turned against Justin were now starting to question whether he had been set up. Then, something strange happened. Colleen Hoover suddenly disappeared from social media. For someone with millions of devoted fans, going completely silent was unusual. No statements, no explanations, just complete radio silence. This only fueled more speculation. Was she feeling guilty? Was she waiting for the backlash to calm down? Or was there an intense legal battle happening behind the scenes that she couldn't talk about? Hollywood is no stranger to power plays, hidden deals, and carefully crafted strategies. But this situation had turned into something much bigger than just a movie dispute. It was now a real-life battle for control, and in the end, the biggest question remains, who will come out on top? A choice of curated case and social media silence. When Justin Baldoni's lawyer threatened to subpoena digital communications, the situation escalated dramatically. If private messages were brought to light, could they reveal discussions about staging the harassment claims? Could they expose a carefully planned timeline that proved everything had been orchestrated from the very beginning? These questions sent shockwaves through Hollywood and social media. While the full truth may never be known, the controversy took an even more surprising turn on January 22nd, when Colleen Hoover suddenly deleted or deactivated her Instagram. An author with millions of followers simply disappeared from one of the most popular social platforms. Fans immediately noticed her absence. Some believed she was overwhelmed by the backlash, facing criticism over everything from the drama with Justin to the rumored scandal involving her son. Others suspected she was intentionally erasing any posts that could be uncovered, subpoenaed, or used to establish a timeline of her alleged secret dealings with Blake Lively. The sudden silence only fueled more speculation. Was she trying to avoid scrutiny, or was she bracing for a legal fight? Meanwhile, well-known critics such as Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, and other online commentators openly criticized Colleen for what they saw as hypocrisy. She had built a career writing stories about survivors, Yet when serious accusations emerged within her own family, she seemed to ignore them. At the same time, she had supported claims against Justin without concrete proof, raising questions about her motives. The once beloved author now found herself at the center of heated debates, with many questioning whether she had been complicit in a larger scheme. As the pressure mounted, speculation grew that Colleen might retire from writing or at least step away from the public eye for a while. But was she truly retreating, or was this just a carefully planned escape? With so many unanswered questions and shifting narratives, the drama was far from over. The retirement rumors. Rumors started spreading that Colleen Hoover was planning to retire. Some believed she was stepping away from writing, while others thought she was simply avoiding public appearances. After years of dominating the bestseller lists and securing a major Hollywood adaptation, it might seem like a natural time for her to take a break. But many people aren't convinced this is just about creative burnout. Instead, they believe her sudden disappearance is more about escaping the controversy that now surrounds her. Some fans think this is her way of making a quiet, graceful exit before things spiral further out of control. They argue that she played a key role in the scandal that damaged Justin Baldoni's career, possibly as part of a larger strategy to take back the film rights and negotiate a better deal. But now, with new evidence surfacing that challenges Blake Lively's claims, the situation may no longer be working in her favor. If Colleen really was involved in a behind-the-scenes plan, stepping away from the spotlight could be her best option before more questions start piling up. Others, however, see Colleen as a writer who simply got caught in the middle of Hollywood power struggle. According to this theory, Blake Lively and her powerful circle were the true masterminds. With her A-list connections, Blake may have had the influence to shift the project in her favor, using Colleen as a willing or even unknowing ally in the process. If this is true, then Colleen may not be running away from guilt. She may be distancing herself because she realizes she was just another piece in a much bigger game. Regardless of which version of events is true, one thing is certain. If Colleen Hoover really does step away, she will leave behind more questions than answers. Was she actively working against Justin, or was she simply pulled into a web of manipulation by Blake and her team? Did she knowingly contribute to a scheme, or did she just go along with the changes without fully realizing what was happening? Another factor fueling speculation is the way Colleen has handled criticism in the past. Throughout her career, she has been known to avoid direct confrontation. While she has always engaged with fans, she has rarely responded to serious controversies. Some believe this is just another example of her avoiding a difficult situation. If she stays silent long enough, will the public simply move on? That strategy has worked for many celebrities before, but in this case, with so many moving pieces and high-profile names involved, it may not be that simple. Adding to the mystery is the fact that Colleen has remained completely silent on social media. Normally, when an author of her level faces backlash, they release a statement, whether to clear their name, address concerns, or offer an explanation. But Colleen has done none of that. Instead, she has erased her online presence without a word. For her millions of followers, this sudden silence speaks volumes. Is she waiting for legal matters to settle before speaking out? Is she hoping the drama fades with time, or is she simply unsure of what to say, knowing that any response could lead to more scrutiny? At the same time, Justin Baldoni has continued to fight back, presenting evidence that contradicts the allegations made against him. His supporters argue that this evidence paints a different picture, one that suggests he was unfairly targeted. If this evidence continues to gain traction, Colleen's exit could start to look even more suspicious. Did she see the writing on the wall and decide to step away before being forced to address her role in the situation? Of course, there's also the possibility that this is all just a coincidence. Maybe Colleen really is just exhausted after years of writing, promoting, and dealing with the pressures of the industry. Maybe the controversy was simply the final push she needed to take a well-deserved break. But given the timing, it's hard for many to believe that her decision to step back has nothing to do with the chaos surrounding her. One thing is clear. Whether Colleen Hoover chooses to retire for good, take a temporary break, or return to the spotlight later, the questions surrounding her involvement in this scandal will not disappear anytime soon. There are too many loose ends, too many conflicting narratives, and too many people invested in uncovering the full story. And before anyone can draw final conclusions, there's still one last piece of this puzzle to consider: the way in which every person involved stands to either gain or lose in the aftermath. Who benefits, who fails? In any Hollywood controversy, the key to understanding the bigger picture is to follow the money and influence. If Justin Baldoni is completely pushed out of the It Ends With Us adaptation, Colleen Hoover and Blake Lively could take full control under Colleen's new production company, Heart Bones Entertainment. This would give them the freedom to reshape the project however they want, without any interference. Not only that, but they could also negotiate a better deal, securing a higher payout and more creative authority. With Ryan Reynolds' marketing expertise, the film could reach massive audiences and completely overshadow Justin's original vision. But things aren't as simple as they seem. While it might look like a win for Colleen and Blake, there's also a major risk. If enough evidence comes out proving that the allegations against Justin were exaggerated or even completely false, the backlash could be devastating. The internet doesn't take kindly to people who ruin someone's career based on misleading claims. History has shown that public opinion can turn against celebrities overnight. If the truth comes out and it's not in their favor, Colleen and Blake's reputations could suffer beyond repair. On the other hand, Justin Baldoni is not just some random filmmaker. He has built a solid reputation in the industry. He owns his own production studio, has been involved in multiple successful projects, and is well liked for his philanthropic work. If he manages to clear his name and prove that the allegations were weaponized against him, it could have major consequences. Not just for this film, but for Hollywood as a whole. His case could set a new precedent, forcing the industry to rethink how morality clauses are used in contracts and how easily they can be manipulated. If he wins a legal battle, it might prevent future situations where someone's career is destroyed based on claims that can't be proven. So who has the most to gain? Right now, it's impossible to say. If everything goes according to plan for Colleen and Blake, they could walk away with full control of the movie, a massive payday, and even more power in the industry. But if the truth swings in Justin's favor, they could find themselves facing public outrage and a major loss of credibility. In Hollywood, power dynamics shift fast, and every new piece of evidence can change the narrative. This brings us to the biggest question of all. Is Colleen Hoover's rumored retirement a genuine break from the industry, or is it a calculated move to avoid the fallout of a scandal? Did she step away to protect herself from being held accountable, or is she simply trying to escape the chaos that this situation has turned into? As the drama continues to unfold, one thing is certain: this story is far from over, and the final outcome could change everything. A risk on the horizon. No matter how you look at it, It Ends With Us adaptation has turned into something far bigger than just another Hollywood project. It has exposed the industry's cutthroat nature, where authors can join forces with actors to reclaim rights, talent agencies drop clients at the first sign of controversy, and morality clauses can be twisted into weapons to destroy careers. What started as an exciting film adaptation has spiraled into a tangled web of power struggles, accusations, and shifting alliances. Colleen Hoover, once known for writing deeply emotional stories about love and healing, is now being accused of playing a role in a behind-the-scenes scheme. Some believe she worked with Blake Lively to push Justin Baldoni out of the picture, using legal loopholes and carefully timed allegations to regain control of the film rights. If that's true, it would be a shocking revelation for an author who built her career on themes of resilience and justice. Blake Lively, a beloved actress with a polished public image, is also facing backlash. Many now wonder if she deliberately exaggerated or even fabricated claims to get Justin removed from the project. If the allegations were part of a calculated move to seize creative control, the fallout could be severe. A reputation built over decades could crumble in an instant if the truth turns against her. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni is fighting to prove his innocence. He was the first to champion It Ends With Us as a film, and now he's being cast as the villain. But with new evidence emerging that contradicts the allegations against him, the narrative may not be as straightforward as it first seemed. If Justin clears his name, it could expose the way morality clauses are used as tools for corporate and personal gain, rather than for actual justice. Hollywood might be forced to reconsider how easily careers can be destroyed by unverified claims. Whether Colleen's rumored retirement is real or just a strategic disappearance, one thing is certain: the controversy surrounding this adaptation is not fading anytime soon. The internet never forgets, and Hollywood thrives on scandal. With each new detail that surfaces, the public will continue to debate who the real masterminds and victims are in this situation. So is Colleen the mastermind, pulling strings behind the scenes to reclaim her work? Or was she just another piece in a much larger game manipulated by more powerful forces in Hollywood? Did Blake execute a cold and calculated plan to take over the film, Or is she genuinely a victim who felt threatened by Justin's behavior? As the dust settles, one thing remains clear. This is more than just a movie. It's a battle over influence, reputation, and the dark realities of the entertainment industry. Outro. For now, the curtain remains half drawn. But if one thing is certain, it's that we're only in the middle of this saga. Keep your eyes and ears open, because with every leaked message and legal filing, a new twist is bound to surface. Subscribe for the next jaw-dropping update on this entire fiasco, and let me know in the comments, was Colleen Hoover plotting from the start, or did she just get caught in the crossfire of a cutthroat Hollywood takeover? Stay tuned, because if this drama has taught us anything, it's that the real story is always darker and more complicated than anyone imagines.